I'm away.
Okay, so you're away outside to
You're a man of
investigate what's happening.
perfect health.
Yes, let's
So
sort
what do you
this
want to
out.
do
Right.
first? Like you step out through the
Right.
door, you
Just step
see
out on.
in the center of the village there is a post with a man tied to it with another like larger kind of fat guy with a whip just lashing him as the crowd stands in silence watching,
Well,
knowing this could be their fate at any time.
we're just gonna walk straight up to him, kick him in the balls. That's how we're gonna start the
So
night
you're
off.
gonna
See how
you're
we're.
gonna walk up behind the guy doing the
Power walk
lashing.
straight towards him. No
He'll get
regret.
he'll get a stealth attack.
You
Stealth
will,
attack
so
aloft.
Do I get stealth hunter or
you will
can I
get
do?
stealth. Like nobody's paying
Yes,
attention to
we
you.
will stealth attack his balls.
Just 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 roll. Just roll a dice.
What do I have to roll here? Dexterity or?
It'll be strength because it's how hard you
Oh,
kick him in the balls.
Jacob, you could share screen. By the way, you could do
It's
that.
not much to look
Oh.
at the minute, but you could.
Well,
Okay,
she could see
but like-
Zoe could see the rolls of the dice. That's
You mean the
See how all that
the
works.
ones you roll?
That's true.
you can
I
turn on.
will.
screen share.
I'll turn screen share on.
Let I forgot to get my character sheet up here. Give us
God,
a
it's like
second.
Discord insomnia.
I will just minimize Discord and then there you go. You're now sharing your screen. Easy peasy. Right. There's my character sheet. What do I have to roll?
Strength.
Dexterity save.
Strength
no,
attack.
strength.
Just click your
Strength
strength.
first.
Just roll strength.
Right. Hold on. Strength. There we go. Boom. Find it.
Okay,
Ah.
so
Oh, it's a 5. Why did I roll terrible on
You know
strength?
what you do?
yeah, so pretty much you go to kick this guy in the balls, but then you realize that your back is really suddenly sore again. Getting getting the skin just clawed off you. And you kind of flinch mid kick and don't actually connect with his balls.
Damn it, I have been
Though-
bested by.
Though you never hit him, so the guy he's too busy whipping the man that he doesn't actually notice you're there behind him just yet. Like this guy's really into it.
Oh, shit, you're fucking. Oh,
The crowd-
The kick, he didn't even feel it.
Like no, like
Now
he
whip.
didn't actually hit the guy. He went to kick, flinched, and the foot's kind of like halfway to the balls, but hasn't reached the balls yet.
Oh, that's just.
So the crowd's eyes
light-
are on
it's
you.
a light breeze.
Freaking old man.
Yeah, it's a tickle from the air.
Oh. Attempt number 2, I think.
Are you just gonna go for another kick to the
I'm gonna,
balls?
I'm gonna just.
No,
walk,
no. I need to change it up.
I'm gonna walk outside and just make sure that my character witnesses this.
Yeah, you've been watching out the door.
See there, kick the balls, the roundhouse to a head. Like,
Just
so.
pick one and go for it.
Do you know what? Kick him in the scrotum again, I'm going back
mean
to the days
try
where
to
I was a
kick him.
hobbit and I just aimed for the genitals, like, 3 years ago.
You
That's-
can
Strength
certainly
save.
try and kick him again.
Watch and behold my roll of 1. Oh, it's a 12.
Okay, so
That's the connect.
since he's not paying attention and just standing there, your
Yes,
foot
I
does meet with his balls between his legs. So
What
now
happens to him? Does he fall over in absolute
Well,
agony like any man
you'll
would?
need to roll for your damage. So first roll a d4.
A D4?
D4
Yeah.
minus 1.
Oh!
Now you don't get a whole
Oh.
d4. It's half of it because it's not a weapon. It's a
Oh,
foot.
2 damage.
So it's
Oh,
2.
2 damage to the
Minus 1 because you're weak as fuck with shit strength. And then roll your d6 for sneak attack. Because he hasn't noticed you yet.
4 acceptable.
So this brute of a man that's just whipping this poor soul who's screaming his lungs out across the opening of the courtyard. You just connect with his balls. He drops the whip, hands come down to his nuts, and he just falls onto his knees, groaning.
Easy clap. Easy clap.
There is a gasp from the surrounding villagers that you've just assaulted. Essentially, like what you would like pretty much the executioner. That's what it would be equivalent to.
Easy clap. Is he like on his knees basically?
Yeah, he's dropped to his knees.
Walk round to the front. Oh, actually, will I walk around to the front of him? Or will I just like straight
Just
up
go
deck
with
him?
the moment.
Could I
Kick
kick
him
him in
into
the
the
side?
dirt, Tarek! Kick
Yeah,
him into the dirt!
could I kick him into the side of his head and just knock him out cold?
Hit him with a chair!
Try to.
Okay.
You can try and give him a kick to the side of the head if you want.
Kick to the head, strength.
Same thing again.
Here we go.
Okay,
Oh my
so-
god, it's a crit!
Crit!
Now roll your d4 again.
You just
But it's
Sparta kicked him.
2d4.
No,
Isn't that? Is it that
1d4, then it's doubled.
Oh, right, okay. 1d4.
Oh,
So
fuck.
that's 2 minus 1 anyway. So it's still 1, then plus your sneak attack. Well, no sneak attack. He knows you're there. But it is enough to
Alexander.
finish him off. Like, you kick him, a good solid kick into the side of his head. The guy just slumps over and knocked out. He's just a common peasant, not really trained to withstand that much of a beating.
Can't believe
The
we called
crowd is now in hushed silence. The man that was getting whipped kind of struggles to look round over his shoulder, like, "Thank you, sir. You saved my life." And then he
Not
passes
bad.
out from
Oh.
the pain of the whipping.
Oh dear. Well,
Whip him again the way.
Oh,
I
God.
just throw my 2 arms up in the air and go easy clap. And there we go.
Peasants look at you like, what the fuck language is this?
Yeah, the peasants they're confused. Like, you just walked up, kicked this guy in the balls, then kicked him in the side of the head and knocked him out. For seemingly no reason other than he was whipping this other man.
Oh, I'd love to whip him now, but that's probably taking it a bit too far.
Roll some perception.
Oh! No, I thought of a better idea. I want to keep the whip.
Well, roll some perception as you go to pick up
The
the whip.
fuck? Okay, Indiana Jones.
Yeah, perception.
Okay, so
No. Oh
in
God.
the, like, out past the crowd, you see the quartermaster's house, where Mr. Hanson, the owner of the lumberyard, has now stepped out through the door. Hasn't said anything yet, and doesn't know exactly what's going on just yet.
Pick up the whip and keep it and go vanish.
So he just attached the whip to your belt and then leave.
Cut the man free, although he might just pass out in the ground.
He
I don't know,
is-
free already, probably.
You
He
will
is
have to
past it.
walk a bit to get there.
Shit.
Like, you're not that close to him. You're a good, like, maybe 15, 20
Shit,
feet
I have to
away.
walk.
Walking is against my character's
Core
core
beliefs.
beliefs.
Walk, I don't believe in it.
As you're contemplating what to do, Mr. Hanson is starting to walk towards the
No,
assembled
let's
crowd.
just how big's the crowd?
Maybe about 50 or so people right now.
Oh, we'll just evade. We'll evade into the crowd.
You'll
No
need
one-
to stealth. You will need to stealth to sneak into the crowd Assassin's Creed, so
More or less, yeah. Why not?
make your stealth roll. See how well
Here
this
we
goes.
go.
Okay, so
It's actually gonna work.
So you quickly, before you're noticed, sneak into the nearest crowd. They just kind of part ways and let you through, no one trying to stop you. And out behind you, you can hear that Mr. Hanson has reached the crowd, and with a look around, he's like, "Why has the whipping stopped? I ordered this man to have 30 lashes. I only heard 15 screams. Why has the procedure been halted? What is the meaning of this?"
But I'd love to start a mutiny right now. Whip him! Whip him!
Roll
Time
insight.
for the roast.
We're just gonna
No.
face spam. Just
Roll some insight.
No, why do I have to roll insight?
Roll insight. Just do it. And you'll understand if you roll
get the
well.
feel of the crowd, Macaulay.
Okay. Like, you don't really gather anything from the crowd around you as you're
See
sneaking
if I
away.
rolled another 20 there, it'd be flipping unreal.
So,
Peasant revolt. Who doesn't love a good peasant revolt?
so, as you're beginning to sneak off, where do you go now that you're sneaking away?
Can I make it back to the unshed in which I was laying? Or is that...
You can certainly try and make it back to the lodgings.
Is it like, am I crossing open ground to get there, basically?
Pretty much. Like you're going from the like essentially courtyard of the village where there are no buildings to the outskirts of the village where the lodgings would be.
I'm nowhere near the forest, am I?
Oh no, nowhere near.
So the only place I can go is outwards.
Behind the buildings, pretty much.
Right, we'll go there then.
You need to make some more stealth to get away.
some stealth! Oh, 13.
Oh, you're lucky. So
I'm just so good at this game.
you exit the crowd, making your way
Match roll
towards
with an
the
artillery roll of 1.
lodgings where you have been staying the last couple of nights as you hear Mr. Hansen's voice begin to fade as you're getting further away. But what you do hear is, "Who knocked out the executioner? Speak up.
Okay,
Anyone,
no, okay.
anyone that speaks up about which one of you vile peasants did this will get a reward of 10 gold coins."
Oh, you can't. You can't.
There are
I hate
a
you, I
couple
hate
of
you,
the
I hate you.
peasants who step forward and start pointing in the direction you went.
Time to go!
And you can see like you look over your shoulders, you hear that, and you just like see him snap his fingers, and from within the crowd, some tougher looking. They're still commoners, but they're just like tougher looking like brutes and thugs. Some of them have like clubs and sticks to their sides. Start heading that direction, looking for you. I haven't spotted you yet, but there is now a manhunt for you for defying
So good.
guy that owns this
Am I
village.
just watching this all?
Oh yeah,
on
you're
the
just standing like out at the edge, leaned up against the building, watching this. Probably just laughing internally at how
go?
it's
Yes,
going.
and just like fuck my lad.
Here, I'm role playing. So,
Just keep going.
Just keep going.
You now know
Tell me
you're
about-
being hunted, so what do you want to do next?
time to get the hell out of Dodge.
Where do you go though?
Right. So I'm behind some buildings.
Yeah,
What
so you've
can I
snuck your way
run to,
behind a
basically?
building.
I
There's
don't have
just-
a map, so
You're like halfway to the outskirts of the village. So there's like maybe a row of 3 or 4 more houses before you can clear the village and then make a couple 100 feet run to the woods.
let's go that. Let's just might as well try that high.
Are you just gonna bolt for it or stealth your way out?
Stealth is what I am, so let's do that maybe.
Go ahead.
This is where I'll roll a 1. Oh, 14.
Okay, so as you taking a breath, get ready, and as soon as you step out from behind your building to try and sneak off, one of the thugs like literally steps around the corner as you take
Okay.
a step out, and
Hello there.
he's about to shout out, "He's over here!" Like you know he's gonna yell something.
Flippin'.
You
Oh, God.
roll some initiative against this guy.
Oh, you're gonna make me roll the initiative.
Oh yes.
Damn it!
Okay, so he goes first with a
yell.
natural 20 roll. So
You
he yells out,
fuck.
"He's over here!" Takes a swing with what looks like a chair leg he's holding. He takes a
Chair
fucking
leg?
yeah, hits us a fucking chair leg, like a square, broken off chair leg. But it's got a splintered end, and he just goes for a fucking swing for your head with it, trying to clobber you as hard as he can. But it's a very short chair leg, so it just swings by your face and doesn't hit you. How you gonna react now? These guys know where you are.
See, this is why I should have picked the freaking level 2 rogue, because then I just disengage and run away.
Oh, you could still try and disengage, but he will attempt to attack you.
Yeah, but
Just remember the last time you tried to disengage.
yeah,
from
no, I
Rambo.
know. That didn't end well.
Well, this is an
2 options.
this is an unskilled combatant. Like
He's
he doesn't
unskilled.
know how to fight. This is just a
Oh, well,
thug
there's no
that
point
scares
stabbing him
people.
with a sword.
Oh, you could stab him with a sword if you want to.
But that's murder. I've done enough
You-
of that already.
Oh yes, yes, you would do nothing about that, because
I got a bit carried away in the last mission.
So like while this is happening, Beric's just still standing there, like watching this guy walk around, take a swing at a half elf.
Another kick to the balls, I think, is required.
Go for a strength attack.
That's flipping strength, man. This
No,
one's weak.
kicking. Oh,
Oh shit!
so
It's a 0. Oh, fuck,
Had to
unlucky.
happen at some point
You-
during the night. At least this conflict doesn't really matter unless
Oh,
I'm gonna get whipped.
you'll
Get
you'll
out of
see.
it.
So you go for the kick up to this guy's walls, but you're kind of took off guard by him
God
just
damn it, I'm gonna get
appearing
whipped
seemingly from nowhere. Go to swing for the kick, and he just puts his hand down and grabs your foot as he's swinging it for the kick. So you're now grappled.
Why
So
is it every time I roll strength, I get a low value? Like,
Because
even
your strength
funny.
is shit,
Our
and you're
strength is
really
shit.
unlucky. So
but I don't get above like 10 ever, apart from one time.
you're just really unlucky. So you can see in the distance some more of these really just thugs are running your direction. This guy then takes his chair leg stick and tries to whack you over the head with it in an attempt to knock you out. Though he really doesn't know how to fight, rolls his second 3 for an attack and just fucking misses because it's such a short chair leg and can't hit you with it at all.
Retard.
So your foot is being clasped in his left hand as he's holding it while you tried to kick him in the balls.
Right, draw the dagger, slice his arm.
Well, you'll be at disadvantage attacking him because he's holding your foot and keeping you away from him.
Well, can I, if he's,
Your dagger,
What?
like he's controlling you. You're balancing on one foot right now.
Yeah.
If you need to, like, you can attempt to break his grapple to get your foot back, but
Yeah,
then
that-
you can only do an offhand attack. You can't
Well,
attack
that's
with your
fine.
main hand.
we'll,
It is a strength test. Can you
I
beat him for
can.
who's strongest?
Oh, a 12. Yay.
Got a 19.
See, this
So-
is what I mean.
So
this is
you
what I mean.
you
I can't
try and
bullshit.
pull your. I'll take a screenshot of the
Okay, that's believe you. Bad.
of the rules, but you try and pull your foot from his grasp, but he's holding on tight. He's got you round like, just got you clasped right around your ankle. You're not going anywhere, but you still can attempt to make like a offhanded swing. Okay, so are you gonna
Please, that
throw your dagger or like kind of try and stab him with your
slice
dagger?
his hand, or not his hand, his arm, so he freaking takes
One
his
holding
hand
you?
off my leg. Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so as you try to pull off, you yank him a bit closer to you, giving you enough room to slash out at him with your dagger. Do some damage.
That's not good.
Yeah, that's a 1 because it's your offhand. You don't get the +3. So
This guy,
you nick him
Something
across
like
the
that.
wrist.
Can't
And-
believe McCauley's gonna get beaten up by peasants.
I know.
So you
Unbelievable.
nick
Out
him
of all
across
the
the
things that-
wrist, but
out of all
he
the things
flinches.
that
The initial plan went really well, so screw you.
Well, you've nicked him across the wrist
Like,
with your
all
dagger.
my plans go really well at the start and then backfire horribly at the end.
And
Sorry,
he
Andrew.
he flinches away, letting go of your foot. This is the kind of like he's not used to actually getting attacked back because they're normally dealing with peasants who are too scared of them to do anything. But you now have broke free. You could attempt to run, but he will get an attack on you if you try.
What would I have to roll to run?
Oh, you can just run, and then he tries to attack. He just gets a normal attack against you.
We see, roll like a 20 now, but I will try to run.
Okay. So you attempt to buck it away from him. He rolls a 6. No better than his
Yes.
previous rolls. So he swings at you.
Yes!
The short chair leg just not long enough to reach out and whack you. As you start sprinting off towards the trees, I'm assuming.
I'll be back in
Okay.
Oh yes, absolutely.
Okay, you will need to make athletics to try and outrun this guy and the guys behind him.
Yeah!
So
That's a
you're
good roll.
you're starting to pull away as you're close to the outskirts of the town. Is there any like particular way you want to try and evade them, or just straight line run to the trees?
That ass just runs straight into the trees.
One more athletics check. If you win, you have escaped the town and you
This is
get to
gonna
the
be
trees.
terrible, where
If you
it is-
don't, he might catch you depending on how much better his is. So glancing over your shoulder as you just speed away from the village, you
Mhm.
see he kind of just, there's a bit of mud, like his foot lands it and he just slips and falls onto his face in the dirt.
Did he roll a 1?
He did. Just like mud splattering all over his face, into his eyes. You can see him frustrated punch his fist into the ground as he looks up, seeing you run off into the
Easy
trees.
clap. All, easy clap. Right, just
You
I'll
were
just,
close to being captured, though.
I was close to being captured, but I still won, so screw them. I now have a whip, so
Yes, you do have a whip.
definitely will find a use for that later. Definitely.
A whip can be used as a weapon, just so you know.
What D damage do you roll for that?
4, but it can attack people 5 feet away instead, or attack people 10 feet away instead of 5 feet away.
Oh, nice.
So you can use it to hit someone that's further away
What's
from
he
you than
using?
normal.
A pole?
He has the whip, but he did
The
escape.
mighty
Oh,
whip.
right.
I am now Indiana Jones.
Nice.
I just need to add it to your inventory.
Easy clap.
Well, Barrack just watched all this. Like, you just saw Carrick break free from someone holding his foot, make a run for it, and the guy chasing him slip in some mud and just fall flat in his face as he escaped into the forest. So, you've watched it all. What do you want to do next now you've just saw your companion
Oh crap! What
run
the
off
hell
into
have
the
you
trees?
Oh, you're adding whip to
Um,
my damage.
I
thing,
might
okay.
just go back to sleep and pretend this was all a dream.
You could do that if you want to.
I'm just gonna stand about and see how this
Oh
progresses.
shit! What did I call my pet mouse?
Leroy.
Oh, it was Leroy.
So
I don't
You're
think he's fed Leroy, like fucking.
Oh no!
I'm
don't
just
feed Leroy.
assuming Leroy gets fed when you eat yourself.
Leroy will need a quick snack.
Okay, so
Leroy.
you're out hiding in the forests right now. Well, Beric, you're getting a feel for the town, seeing what's happening. As you get closer to the crowd to get a view of what's going on, Mr. Hanson is pacing back and forth across the courtyard, waiting impatiently. And you see the thug that had a skirmish with Carrick
Skirmish?
limp back, gripping his cut wrist, and mutter something to him, and then Mr. Hanson just backhands him onto the ground. And
Hey,
then
what a nice chap.
struts around, looks out over the crowd, at all the people. I said 10 gold for information. Any man, woman, or child that could find and bring this brigand to me will receive a handsome reward of 25 gold pieces.
Right.
Fuck. I might
Right,
have
hang on. I
myself.
have just have
There
one
are-
question.
There are murmurs amongst the villagers as they're contemplating this.
I have just one question. Does he know what I look like? Or as
Mr.
the-
Hanson?
Pretty sure they definitely know who you are. because
Well, everybody in the
Not many
circle.
half elves probably walking about the camp.
Well,
just-
okay, yeah, okay.
Yeah, and like they all watched you like kick the guy in the balls and then kick him in the head. And you were in
Yeah,
the
for
meeting
meme
with Mr.
value.
Hanson earlier.
It's for meme value.
Well,
Don't
well,
understand.
you are now essentially wanted in this village with a handsome
fuck, mate.
reward for peasants on your head.
I'll kill them all. Fuck them.
So,
Frag grenades and a whip. What more do you want?
you don't know how to use the spark bombs.
well.
you just said. But Mr. Hanson storms off all the way back to the quartermasters, and you can hear that, like even in the woods, you hear the slam of a door. It shut that forcefully. But it does not look
Yeah.
good. Some of the villagers are gathering into groups, talking quietly. Others you see going into their houses, maybe handing out pitchforks, sticks. Quite a few of them are getting ready to, maybe about
Oh no.
a third of the peasants in the crowd, which was a total of 50 in the crowd, a third of those seem to be arming themselves to go out and hunt for Carrick.
Awesome.
despite the threat of the beast at large.
This is where it'll either go really well for me or really badly and I'll die.
I'm going really badly for the fucking peasants.
I don't care about them. They turned on me. I tried to do something courageous and inspire them. They just threw it in my face. Cunt,
Well,
cunt.
Oh,
Yeah.
They
you had to
followed.
run away. This might have went so much better.
well,
I mean, where else can I go?
well,
Could have just
Beric,
waited there.
Beric has a perception check to make
And
while
get
you're walking around the village.
Oh, nice.
Your
Okay.
first roll.
Perception. Oh, it's a 9. Fuck my life.
What you're looking for isn't really that hard to notice, but Talia has been missing this entire
Oh
confrontation,
dear. You had one?
Well, of course she has.
of course.
Fucking stupid bitch. Right, go in. I'm assuming she's, when you mean she's missing, she's not in the tent or anything.
You haven't saw her outside since you came outside.
Right,
Oh, back
I'll
inside.
rush over to the tent to see if she's there.
Once you get back to the lodgings, her and all of her equipment is gone. She is nowhere to be found in the village itself.
We went from a party of 4 down to 2, and we're hunting a boss.
Fuck.
Screw this.
Though,
Right.
as you're looking for Talia, you do hear a call out from the tall square, going, "Matthias, we're looking for Matthias."
What?
I walk out and see who's calling out for Matthias.
There is a group of 4 dressed in mostly leather, one wearing hides, 2 wearing leather, 1 wearing hides, and a third who's talking in a chain shirt. They are clearly armed.
You're looking for Matthias?
Oh shit, he did.
Yes, we have a common patron, and
Huh?
heard he might need assistance in this area.
We must talk in private. Follow me.
The group nods and they head your direction.
I go into the tent and basically
so
explain
As they walk in,
overall.
you see that there's one with a crossbow, one wielding a shield and spear, another that's wearing the chain shirt. He has a scimitar, and he looks to be foreign. He's not from the kingdom you're currently a part of. He's from a distant land somewhere.
Okay.
And then there's a woman in hide who has a whip at her side and a sword at the other side.
Nice.
So you explain to them what has happened.
Yes, well, first I asked, these are a part of the guild, I imagine.
We are here for an initiation. We've been told that a group of 4 already headed this way and might need some backup, so that is why we are
Hell,
here.
they got the short straw, didn't they?
Well, I have ill news, and Matthias is dead.
They start muttering amongst themselves, not something you can hear.
Killed by the creature we hunt. And
The one
Talia,
who is their leader, the man with the crossbow, kind of steps forward. What creature? We heard that men were turning up with no hearts, but we assumed it was the local lord trying to scare Mr. Hansen into surrendering the Umberyard. What is this beast you speak of?
I know not what the foul beast is. All I know is that it is feathered and flies in the sky, and
Then we have a hunt. Let us move
Yeah.
swiftly.
Flippin'. Right, okay, just straight into. Let's get wrecked.
the creature was last seen flying off to the mountains. Talia, another one of my company, has seemed to have left. She has taken the loss of Matthias very quickly. another one of our company has got himself into a little bit of trouble. So I suggest you head to the mountain and set up a camp near its edge. I will arrive shortly.
This group of four, acknowledging that you're already a member of the group they're trying to join, nod and begin to make their way north towards the mountain. They're fresh, haven't been in any combat since their journey started.
At least two.
They
of
set
them
out
are
at
gonna
a
die,
steady jog towards the
and
mountain.
one of us, probably.
Call, you'll be lucky if I could find you.
Actually, never mind.
There's
There are 5 of them, not 4. There's one.
5 of them?
There's 5. Oh no, there are 4. I was reading my thing wrong. It's one I wrote and then scribbled out. There are 4.
Yeah, there's definitely a few of them are gonna die.
So-
goodbye, cannon fodder.
What do you wanna
we
do
got an
now that
easy
you're-
initiation, they didn't.
Right, well, I'm gonna have to go to the edge of the tree line where I seen Carrick run off to, and I'm gonna have to try to find his tracks to find him before the peasants do.
You will
Well-
never find me, I'm a survivor.
You must make a stealth
Nobody
check
sees
then.
me.
And Barrick must make investigation.
I'm nowhere.
See if you can
everywhere,
find your lost companion in the woods.
at the same time.
Bazinga.
Oh
Ooh.
shit, okay.
Very hard to
Right,
beat.
fine. Do I have to roll one?
You do stealth.
Oh,
so-
no.
So-
Suck it, you nerd.
So your path through the woods is pretty well hidden and concealed, but you have slipped up and made a couple of mistakes. A broken twig branch here, some disturbed foliage that way. And Beric, following these signs, being proficient in stealth himself, finds it rather easy to follow your path. It doesn't take long, but you find Carrick, and where exactly are you hiding? Like up a tree, in a ditch, behind a rock? Where are you hiding?
I never even give much thought to it. Like, seen the popcorn fall over. I was like, oh, that's it.
Just a bit out, I'm just wanking into the wind. What do you want?
More or less. Just sitting with my mouse up against a tree, like.
Okay, so you've just got your back to the village, sitting down against.
No,
One of the thicker
towards the village
trees.
so I could see.
Oh,
when
so
he
you're,
would come.
you're like just sitting.
You're not even hitting it all.
Okay,
Ah,
so
give a fuck.
so
Give a
or
fuck.
maybe
You might as well just ask the peasants to come out and fucking just beat the shit out of you.
so from about 100 yards away, Beric just sees Carrick sitting down on the ground at the
Leroy,
base of a
Do
tree,
not insult Leroy.
petting Leroy.
Fuck, gonna use Leroy as bait.
He will come and use.
Oh my god.
There's no use of that my spell ever. Fucking come and
You
use
will,
it
you
for-
will say that there will be a day I yeet him at a fat coon and he will get so terrified like an elephant
Oh
if he
my
rolls a
fuck.
1.
Mm,
There will
Mm.
come a time
uh-huh, uh-huh. If you live that long.
which will probably not be very
Well,
long. considering
What do you
how
want to
smart I am.
do next? Now that you've regrouped and had this lovely conversation about Leroy the Mouse, who is looking terrified right now.
Why is Leroy still terrified? He's got a pep
He
that
can-
box ages
He
ago.
can hear the tone of your voice, and he is terrified.
Right, give him
can-
some breadcrumbs and stuff. him back
Why,
in the box.
why am I associated with you? Like, ever since I've met you, you have caused nothing but trouble for me.
Look,
Ugh.
I don't take kindly to posh cunts whipping poor people, so we'll just leave it at that.
Mm. The guild will not be happy about this. I have some
Look-
good news at least.
Okay.
We have 4 new companions that arrive as reinforcements from the guild. I've told them to head towards the mountain, so if we move quickly, we should be able to catch up with them.
Excellent.
Also, Talia's gone.
Oh.
Did you notice?
Oh, I'm so disheartened. Now my ears can finally rest.
True.
That's one of my characters who has bad manners, and I bluntly say to other people what I'm hinting or hiding, but blah, blah, blah. I have to say that.
So
Oh, yeah. Totally.
now that you've
You have to be a
regrouped,
cunt.
I have to be a cunt. It's my character.
so
Right.
now that you've regrouped, what do you want to
I
do?
shall roll investigation to try to track down the other 4 members of the party.
You get
Just roll
advantage.
some survival.
Oh,
You
survival.
know where they're going, so okay, so you find it pretty easy to keep your path towards the mountains. You do see the tall peaks above the tree line, and begin to make your way pretty swiftly in that direction. The mountains are quite far from where the lumberyard is. So to get to like the very base where it starts to get hilly would take you just over a day's travel.
Flip, we're going back towards non-mine. Flip me.
Yes. Well, you
Can
could go more this way,
we? Can I
essentially to the line.
do?
It's not a
Yeah.
good idea.
Actually, that makes no sense. I was gonna do investigation to see if I could find Talia's tracks, but the fucking forest is huge, so you could have went anywhere.
You've got a feeling in the back of your head, even if you looked for her tracks, you would not find them.
Yeah. I just spend a day traveling towards the mountain.
Just towards the mountains.
Yeah.
So, as you travel the majority of the rest of the day, nothing really happens, but as it starts to begin to get dark, you do see a small fire glowing in the distance in the trees.
Mhm.
There's like a slight little, it's like a bit of a ditch, like where some of the ground has fallen away, and there's a slight raised bit of earth that's still part of the forest with trees and bushes and shrubbery on it, and you can see the glow of the fire is up atop it, maybe 15-20 feet above the normal forest floor.
We'll just start walking towards it.
As you begin to get closer, a voice shouts out from the campfire, "Who goes there?
Oh.
Declare
okay.
yourself!"
We are friends. We only wish to talk.
The figure slowly climbs down from the raised area where the camp is, and as they get closer, you see it is one of the 4 essentially
Who's camp?
recruits that met you in the village, but in the darkness they haven't recognized you from so far away.
Wait a minute. Did we not bump into them already?
No, they've already went this
Oh,
far
right,
and
okay.
made camp.
Yeah. Have you seen Talia, the half elf?
Oh, it is only you. I see you found your other companion. We've not
Yeah.
seen the third yet. I've seen no sign of the she-elf.
What of the
Yes.
creature?
Kill the sheep.
Well, we don't know what we're looking for, but haven't seen anything so far. The path has been easy and has been clear. We're not far from the mountains, probably less than a day's travel, and we'll reach the base near the mine. But what are we really looking for?
Why are we going back to the mine?
That's the direction the creature flew. It's
I
towards the
hear
mine
you.
in the mountains.
It is a winged creature. With deep claws, it dives upon its enemies. Like a hawk or some sort of eagle.
I will inform the others to watch the skies. We will keep our eyes peeled for such a beast. And he jogs back up to the camp,
Oh dear.
and you can hear
dear.
the mumbling of voices.
We'll just join them at the camp.
Anything you want to do while in camp, or just pass the night?
Just eat rations and stuff as normal.
Indeed.
Maybe insult Carrick a wee bit, about how
What
fucking
kind of
retarded he is.
insult do you wanna make?
You're the most useless, scaven looking piece of shit I have ever fucking had the pleasure of working with in my life.
But you have heard of me. You always have out the worst pirate I've
Like,
The other ones with you, they find this pretty funny, but they're confused at what a skaven is.
Doesn't matter. I'm going to sleep.
Okay, just want to say watches have been set throughout the night, and just want to see how things go.
Yeah.
Potato potato. Let's do that.
So throughout the night, nothing happens throughout any of the watches. Everybody gets a very good night's rest set up by the campfire. And is there a specific time you want to wake up, or just wait until the sun rises?
Just the dawn. Yeah.
Okay, so as the sun begins to rise in the sky, one of the recruits who had volunteered for last watch before, like the one that their watch ends as everybody wakes up, they prod you both awake with the pommel of their, well, the base of their spear. Just poke you both awake. Say, it's time to go. It's first light. We should probably move.
Yes, we should not tally.
So the
Uh,
party heads out towards the mountains.
yes. Carrick, you lead the way. You're the least important.
Roll some perception.
Me? Oh,
Well, all of you. Well, both of you. And then I'll roll away your friends.
I'm liking 7.
Oh, fuck.
Oh boy. So I got
Double
a 2,
seven.
double 7, and 8. So there's 4 7s and 8 and a 2.
Oh my god.
So I'll just roll,
Uh.
roll another thing. Okay, so
Confused
we
by
couldn't
whatever
see
the
anything.
future is.
as you're traveling along, both of you are like, you're still pretty shaken up by what had happened the previous day with the death of Matthias, and now Talia being missing. And you're not really paying attention to your surroundings, and neither are the recruits. They're pretty fresh, they look pretty green as well, and haven't seen much combat. And they're not, you can tell they're not prepared for the kind of conflict that they're probably going to get involved in.
Of course they're not.
But
Neither are we.
you begin to see the mountain getting closer as the trees start to thin out, and in the distance
Oh no. Oh no.
you can see the mine against the cliff face.
Oh shit.
You're
Circle back there.
you're,
Yeah,
no,
don't worry, that-
no one was left alive to notice us.
you're about out. Actually, I'll like draw on the map because it'll probably be easier to see. You're like out here. If you see that new dot.
Oh, we are so fucked.
So the hill just above you is the hill you went on to look over into the mine when you first came this way.
Yes.
So as the trees are starting to thin out, you haven't left the woods yet, and just you see a shadow on the ground, and as you look at it, it's very confusing. It seems as though it's the shadow of a man flying through the sky that is on the ground. So you all see this. You can see the recruits looking confused, stepping back as this, like it's larger than normal, or like larger than a normal man. Just this big shadow just flies past the party. The recruits are confused and they begin looking to the sky.
What is this new devilry?
Roll one final perception check. Give you another chance.
Oh, for
Fuck's sake.
me. A 7 again? Come on.
Right, hold on. Let me.
The dice are not with me.
Oh, I did even better. 6.
Oh, fuck.
Okay, so
6.
as most of the group is busy looking at this strange
I'm
shadow,
just looking at my whip.
one of the recruits that has a crossbow, they glance up to see where it's coming from, squint against the sun, raising up their hand to shield their eyes, and they go, "There! In the sky! A winged beast!" And from it being pointed out, everyone else can turn around, look up, and you see far up above you a small speck that must be the winged beast that the recruit is talking about. He's like got one knee crossbow at the ready, waiting for it to dive out of the sky.
Take cover!
I'd also like to draw my bow.
So you've drawn your bow and you're diving for cover.
I'm getting behind a tree, because
Oh
I
no.
don't have any ranged
no.
So
Oh no. Oh no. Yeah,
position
get the cover.
yourselves behind some
Holy
cover. There are rocks,
This-
there are
God,
trees.
this is a
Oh
big
my
map.
god, this map is massive!
So hide yourself. Where you're standing now is roughly where you would have saw the shadow passing through the trees that you're at.
What direction did it come from? The top down?
From the top down is the direction you saw the shadow fly.
Okay.
So these are your companions. Sorry, actually Talia is not here.
Talia,
she can
she's
disappear.
dead. Oh, she's not here, but
Yeah, she's currently
Nah,
not
she-
present.
She'll arrive eventually.
fucking tramp. Whoa! Flip! I thought that was a fly in my screen when you moved.
Buzz, buzz.
And for purpose of representation, because you don't know what you're fighting, this can I not select it? Come on, let me select.
It's
Bullshit.
hide behind here, I think.
Trying to make just a circle that is going to represent the creature, so I don't give anything away while you don't actually know what it is.
Wait, what?
It's a rock!
Is
So
that the-
you
is
see
that the
this
creature?
grey
God
circle
damn it.
with a square,
Oh,
right? This is
it's
the
a
shadow.
circle with a square in it.
This is gonna represent the creature until you see what it is. But the shadow
Friggin'
like
brilliant.
flies down, passes
Shoot it
over you,
down.
and it's out this direction, gone off into the trees. So what do you want to do?
Well,
There is a
obviously-
large winged beast in the sky. This is quite a large shadow.
Do we have to roll intimidate or
Okay. Insight?
Initiative?
initiative? Yeah.
Not yet. There is no
I was
combat that has
gonna-
been started.
Move behind the tree and just go to the other side.
So everybody's kind of just hiding around their trees. Is there anything you want to say or do while people are taking cover? Everyone's crouched down watching the skies.
Fight to the end, men!
And runs away.
uh,
Officers will not work.
so it's like flew in a southward direction.
It's flown south. You can't really see it in the sky anymore. It's pretty much disappeared.
Shit.
That is,
I,
I
don't
hope
actually-
it.
I
eats-
don't
hope it
know
eats them.
any of the other people's names.
You haven't asked their names.
Lol.
That is true.
Peasant,
Right.
or sorry, recruit 1, 2, 3, 4. Boom, there we go. There's the names.
They actually do have names, but you just don't know them.
Probably definitely should have asked. I
Crossbow
can't remember all the
guy!
names.
Right. No.
So-
what about armament-wise? What have they all
Here-
got? Obviously, one's got a crossbow.
There's a crossbow. The one that is a model of a spearman has a shield as well. Then there's
shield.
the red one who has a scimitar, and the grey
Scimitar.
one with a sword who has a whip and sword.
Right, there you go. It's whip guy, scimitar,
You
shield
then
boy, and
see
crossbow.
the shadow a
Oh.
lot larger now. Not that large. but it flies across this way, seeming a lot closer and a lot faster than
Shoot
it
it
was
down.
previously.
Bring up the 50 cal.
As you are waiting, it now flies this direction.
Right, I would like to shoot it. I'd like to
Larger
shoot
and
it.
faster. Okay, take a shot. Roll your d20 with disadvantage.
Oh, this is gonna be.
So there's a flying
Oh, di-
object.
Please God, no one.
Disadvantage.
Disadvantage.
Short bow. Yeah,
Yep.
here we go.
So that is an 11.
Ooh.
Your arrow just streaks off into the sky and you can't tell where it went or where it was going.
It was
But
a
it-
valid attempt
But
for
it
double
does
roll.
not hit the flying object, which then flies over you extremely quickly, clearly picking up speed after every pass.
Crossbowman, be ready.
I would like to knock another arrow.
The one guy with the crossbow is getting ready. But roll perception again.
Me?
All of you,
Is it-
both of you.
Oh fuck me.
Oh, you're
So
18.
I couldn't see a hooker in a brothel.
So as you're looking around trying to spot where the creature has went, only Carrick has spotted it. Now I'll roll initiative.
Oh shit.
Here we go.
So everybody
Yes!
everybody but Carrick is hit by a surprise turn, which means you don't get to move for the first turn. Because
Damn it.
you don't know where it
Fuck
is.
you!
The initiative was so high.
You actually would be going third.
Fuck.
a wolf. Fuck a wolf.
The
one
order
monkey,
will be
bitch.
of play will be getting revealed soon after I write it down.
Yo, I rolled an 18 perception. Do I know what this bitch is yet?
You don't know what it is, but you see the direction it's coming from.
Okay. Fair
Oh,
enough.
Macaulay, you'll actually be able to shoot it this time.
Can try to shoot it, because you will go
I'll probably have
first.
to roll disadvantage again, Dissy.
As long as it stays in the air, yes. Just writing down what order people are going in, so I can remember.
Dead ass. I shouldn't have left my chocolate fingers in here like today.
Okay, so
25-degree heat.
you see that the shadow is approaching from this direction up here in the top.
Oh shit.
Here we go.
It is your turn, so you can act, then it'll act, then you will act again, then it is its turn, and then everybody else gets to go after the
Oh,
surprise
shit.
round
Did it,
ends.
did it get a? Did it get a?
It got an 18, which means you and it pretty much go at the same time.
Ah, okay. Sweet.
So,
So
am
it
I going
gets-
first?
Yes, you go first. So what do? You see the
Oh.
shadow coming.
I'm gonna
Nope.
just have to pot shot it with a
Nobody else is
disadvantage
looking
again.
the right direction.
Say where you're gonna hit it. Say where
Yes, if you want to hit it, well, you can't really see it that well in the sky, but you can try to aim for parts of the body if you want. So what are you
Man.
doing?
Center mass is the most likely shot, let's be honest here, at a
your
flying
roll.
target.
None of that matters in D&D.
You draw back your short bow, release the
You
shot.
just want headshots, don't you? Oh, damn, I rolled a-
Disadvantage, that is the 12.
Ah, yeah, I know, but
So you fire up your arrow. It's hard to save against the sky and the very fast moving object, but it seems as though it drops just short of your target. Probably
Crossbow.
outside the effective range. However, it is the creature's turn. Who... Ooh,
Oh fuck.
you're lucky.
wait, has it landed?
No, this is its flying speed.
I'm just out of attack range.
Yeah,
Yes!
it can move 60 feet. So it
Wait, it's
soars...
not up the square now anymore.
It soars in your general direction as fast as it can. Actually, you know what?
9 or
Oh, it's still up. It's gonna fly more that way, closer to Carrick. It's
I
using
picked
its
it up first,
entire
first to
move.
die.
So it is now Carrick's turn again as the actual initiative order begins. Everybody else is like, "Holy fuck, the beast!" as they all look up and they see it just fly by.
And we
A blur
still
of
don't know what
speed.
it is yet, because we're all dumb.
It's moving extremely quickly. You cannot tell what it is. Only that it is winged and feathered.
Is it a bird? Is it plane?
You
And
do
is
not
this
know.
another disadvantage?
It's
short
still
bow
in the
roll?
air, so yes.
Oh,
That is a one.
one.
So
One.
as you
Enjoy your
Yeah.
bow hunt stringing.
as you fire up with your bow, you're kind of shaken by the speed of this creature, and it's a pretty bad shot that slaps off the inside of your wrist, gets stuck under your bracelet and skins you a bit,
Ow.
bruising your arm, but not enough to deal like actual damage.
Yeah, that shit actually hurts.
It does hurt a lot,
Come
and your
into the
arrow
object.
goes streaking off into the sky. That is 2 arrows you will most likely not be able to recover.
Oh,
Though
shoot, bye, boy.
it is the beast's turn. Now let us
Bye,
see
Macaulay.
who will it attack. It chooses to go for the one who tried to attack it.
Of course it does, because logic.
Dives down towards you,
Fuck.
and in a sweeping motion, like dives down, and then straight past as it swings
Oh
its
my
claws,
so-
trying to
So lucky.
strike at you. As it dives down, it has to bank left to dodge around the tree, and its claws just swipe above your head, maybe clipping off a couple of your hairs, but they don't
Thanks for the
connect.
haircut, you cunt.
And then it soars back up into the sky. It is now Beric's turn. And you've saw this, the creature has flown by you.
Throw both your swords at it. Go.
You could try, you've got daggers you can throw.
Wait a minute.
Though the
I still
effective
have
range
that.
of a dagger is 20, and then you can throw it up to 60, but your disadvantage
You
anywhere
have to
above 20.
take that hand crossbow out of my attack, Sandra. I don't have that anymore.
I shall. Or hand
Um,
crossbow. Would have been
I
so
really wish
useful.
I had that now.
Yes.
You don't have a
I'm
proper
going
crossbow?
to... No, I don't have any ranged weapons except
Wait, did you
flamethrower now.
sell the crossbow?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
I sold it for blank. Lots
You
of
did.
blank. Uh. Hmm. Ooh.
What do you do?
This
Throw the
so
frag grenade at it.
so well or so wrong. Right. I'm gonna use my turn to take out my rope and then tie
What the fuck?
tie the
grappling hook?
grappling hook on
Okay.
You're an idiot.
it.
So you will have successfully took out and tied the rope
Calls
to
me-
your grappling
Calls
hook.
me a Jack
Now
Sparrow.
have it at the ready.
Did you have head?
You can
Uh,
move
can I-
30 feet.
Okay, I will just
You're
move
mad. Thank goodness for that, because if I wasn't, this probably wouldn't work.
behind you on tree and get.
Okay. So after your turn, it is the crossbowman who, feeling the rush of wind as it flies past Carrick, turns around, attempts to take a shot up into the sky at the beast with disadvantage, actually hits it,
Oh my, what a guy.
and does damage. So,
He's not a rogue, is he? He doesn't,
no, it's
doesn't
not
get
a
on a
rogue.
D6.
So the beast then, like, you see that the bolt goes up towards it, and you don't see where the bolt, like, shoots off into the sky, so you assume it's hit. But you can't really tell where or how badly. There's no audible noise from the creature either.
Okay.
The spearmen, who goes next, they rush to the other side of their tree, kind of cowering behind it, not knowing what to do as they have no ranged weapons.
Throw
Seeing
rocks at it,
with
duh.
the swordman,
Freaking
You
hob.
can't even hit it with a bow, and you expect people to hit rocks.
and then one of the
Tell
whip
that to Bilbo.
runs over closer to the rest of the group and hides behind a tree. As we go to
Bilbo
Carrick's
Baggins.
turn, they're all cowering like holy shit, what is this? They're very scared.
It's 10 points to Gryffindor.
But it is your turn, so what do you want to do?
Me?
Yes, you're the one that
I,
goes first. It's your
last
turn.
time I remember your character, you stupid fuck.
So what do you want to do?
So is it still here?
That's like roughly where it is. Like every turn is like 6 seconds. So it's took it 6 seconds to essentially fly from here, almost kill you, well, almost grab and attack you, and then fly over this
Oh,
direction.
is that a hit?
So
Is that...
you whiz round, draw back your bow, fire, and your arrow does strike true. Roll damage.
Ah!
Where did you hit it, Macaulay?
Right up Main Street.
Roll your
Flying away
damage.
from me.
Okay, so your arrow, you can roughly see that your arrow strikes it somewhere in the back, but it's hard to really see where you struck. It's flying at such a high speed. And then on the creature's turn, it dives down, taking an attack first at the crosswoman. Ooh, I was gonna go for 2,
Oh no, they're lining up.
but it then flies off in this direction towards Barrack.
Excellent.
As it flies down low for the attack, you see the
We'll run and
claws
just crash into a
as
rock,
they
please.
grasp around the crossbowman's shoulders as they dig in, dealing, oh dear God, a significant amount of damage. And as he's standing there shooting up with his crossbow, you just see one of his arms just get ripped from his body
Ah, shit.
as he reaches over with his hand to feel where his arm was, and then just slumps over against the rock.
He's a one-armed bandit now.
No,
Did it take
you-
his primary hand or
Oh,
his
yeah.
other
no,
hand?
He is fucked.
he is
so
dead.
fucked.
It rolled
I
a
can't feel
crit.
my legs just 'cause
And-
the fucking arms have been blown off.
Let's just say it rolled a crit, and it had rolled a 19 normally on damage. Critted. So he's dead.
What did you roll D20 for damage?
No, it's 2d4, and then an extra 2d8 because it dived 30 feet before attacking.
That is the biggest load of
So
shit.
you can tell it's a bird. Where do birds live? In the sky. Where do birds hunt and kill things? In the sky. You're fighting it in the open, which is its natural hunting
Wait, no,
habitat.
but this is a forest, is it not?
This is
Yeah,
light
this
forest.
is like where it's really
Like these are
thin.
mostly
Yeah.
pine trees, so they don't really
no real
block the
branches
sky
out
much.
of the way.
Yeah. So it's pretty easy for it to fly between these trees. And this guy, like,
Okay.
you can just see the arm fly off as it releases it towards Barrack, just landing at your feet. And it's now your turn.
Okay.
We should
Could
call him
I
Larry.
throw the rope round the tree, tie it off, and throw the grappling hook in the same turn?
Make a sleight of hand check to see
This
if
is
you can.
ambitious.
Sleight of hand, sleight of hand, sleight of hand.
You will
No.
be able to either throw it or tie it down.
This could be exciting. Throw it!
Make a disadvantaged, just dexterity roll.
I already know how this is going to end.
You never know. Okay,
Oh,
so it
yeah.
looks as though you're gonna hit, but at the speed of the creature, the grappling hook just swings by and misses.
Damn
Uh,
it!
The crossbowman is then clearly dead, bleeding out on the ground. The spearman, shocked from the death of the companion they traveled here with, pulls back their spear and chucks it up into the air
You
at
moron.
the creature. The spear drops just short and then plunges back into the ground over in Carrick's direction.
Didn't
The
roll a one and hit me. Dropping fuming.
the swordsman runs off towards the one who has a sword and a whip, cowering behind the tree with them, as the two of them are just hiding behind this, not knowing what to do
Friends.
against a flying creature.
They're jerking each other
It is
off
then
behind them.
Carrick's turn.
Shoot the cunt again, for goodness sake.
Roll your attack.
Shoot him in the wings, Carrick! Shoot his wings!
Yeah, okay, I'll go for a wing.
Make your roll.
Damn it.
It looks like it would have hit. That was a 20, but it's still flying. So as your arrow pierces through the air towards its wing just drops in a flap as your bolt just streaks past off into the air, never to be seen again. It is then the creature's turn, and with lightning speed, it turns around, dives for the body of the already dead crossman, picks
It's
it
gonna
up,
run.
and then flies off south off the map.
Fucking
If you
hell.
want, you can try to make some final attacks before it escapes, since it's flying, but you won't be able to do much.
I'll be out of range, surely, at this point.
Well, you can take a shot like as it's going to land, well, not land, but drop low enough to pick up the corpse.
Ah!
But
Ooh,
as it
can I do my
does,
grappling hook again?
yeah, you could try. But as it
Actually,
does, I will
Oh,
show
that's
you
not enough.
roughly what the creature looks like, because it is slowed down enough for you to see it. This is mostly what the creature looks like. The only difference is that this is like an all-feathered beast, essentially an eagle, but it isn't. It doesn't have an eagle's head. It is
So it's
the
Griffin.
body of an eagle, just the legs of an eagle, the wings of an eagle, but then in place of a head of an
It's a
eagle,
bird man.
it has the head of a deer with huge antlers like a red deer protruding from its
deer?
head.
What the fuck?
Sharp teeth like a wolf hanging from
I
its
thought it was a
mouth.
griffin. Dead ass.
So you want to try and grappling hook it?
I wanted to shoot
You-
it, but I don't think 13's enough.
Your grappling hook does connect round one of its feet as it grasps onto the corpse of the one-armed crossbowman.
Oh dear.
So, Carrick, you want to shoot it before it flies
Oh, yeah.
off?
I've
Ick.
done the roll.
You actually hit it. Roll some damage.
Oh, yay.
So, as it grasps onto this crossman and begins to try and fly away, your arrow pierces in just underneath the wing, roughly where the joint is, and you hear a screech of pain as it looks over to you, giving you a good look at its face. As it picks up the crossman, starts to fly away, the rope in Beric's hands, attached to the grappling hook, starts
Wow,
to
you
go
got-
tight. What do you
You
want
got
to do?
rope burn. You got rope burn, fam.
The rope's coming
got
to
rope.
like the end of its length. What are you gonna do? It's the beast
Got
is
tied
flying
to a
away.
tree.
Just slide a hand, try to tie it to the tree.
You'll need a
This is gonna be the
very high
fastest
roll to
slip knot in
successfully
history.
tie this to a tree.
Did I just roll
Here we go.
normal?
Just roll a sleight of hand,
Please be 20.
since it's like you're working with your hands really quickly. Oh,
You
so-
go on.
as you start to tie it down, no, as you start to try and tie it to the tree,
You get pulled away with it. You go for
You-
a flying lift.
you've mistied, and you've got your sleeve of like your clothes caught in the knot. As the beast, the rope goes tight. You've actually tied it to the tree, but the bit around the bark itself snaps. The knot is still tight, and your sleeve is caught in the knot as you're beginning to lift up into the air, tangling about a good 40 feet below the
I
creature.
can show you the world.
So,
Oh,
and
God.
because of the time, we shall stop there.
Oh.
As you're now dangling maybe 25 feet above the ground, being carried
Are you
away.
right now that grappling hook? I knew it was gonna be fucking terrible.
It would have worked, but you rolled a 1.
Yeah.
Fall damage is a bitch.
So now you know the
Okay, well,
appearance of
fuck
the
Jacob here,
creature.
go on.
I'm gonna fucking die.
A deer-headed eagle.